Stop paying the brand tax. We have all been there, standing in a sporting goods store, about to drop $50 on a piece of plastic just because it has a famous logo on it. But the outdoor industry is shifting. We went deep into the manufacturing underbelly of Temu to find the tools that actually function in the wild. We aren't looking for cheap junk, we are looking for engineering wins. We found a $2 gadget that saves your food, a structural marvel at number 11 that holds 400 pounds, and a thermal engine at number 1 that costs 1/10 of the American equivalent. Wait until you see number 3, it is going to completely change your hygiene standards in the woods. We are counting down the 15 best reviewed camping tools from 15 to 1. Let's go. Number 15, the inflatable air lounger. We are kicking this off with a product that went from a viral Kickstarter sensation costing $80 to a mass market staple you can grab for the price of a sandwich. This is the inflatable air lounger. On Temu, you are going to see these listed anywhere between $10.82 and $31.29 USD, depending on the seller and the current flash sale. So, what is it? Essentially, it is a couch in a bag. But the engineering here is what makes it interesting. Traditional camping furniture is rigid. It uses aluminum poles, canvas tension, and heavy frames. The air lounger uses physics. Specifically, it relies on a dual-chamber design made from ripstop nylon with an internal polyethylene liner. It's the same concept as a dry bag, but on a massive scale. The magic and the comedy comes from how you inflate it. You don't use a pump, you don't blow into it until you pass out, you use the wind. You open the mouth of the bag, run a few steps to scoop up the air, and then quickly roll the end shut to trap that volume inside. It utilizes Bernoulli's principle to capture air velocity and turn it into static pressure. Once you roll that collar down and clip the buckle, you have created a 6-foot-long, marshmallow soft sofa that keeps you completely off the rough ground. Why is this at number 15? Because it is high risk, high reward. If you get a good one with a solid internal liner, it is the most comfortable seat in the forest. You can float it on a calm lake, sleep on it at a festival, or use it as a guest bed in your tent. But you have to check the quality immediately. The Temu roulette here is on the thickness of that inner plastic liner. If it's too thin, it might leak air slowly over a few hours, and you'll wake up on the ground like a deflated taco. However, for 10 or 15 bucks, the utility is unmatched. It weighs virtually nothing in your pack, but provides a luxury living room experience on a rocky beach or hard dirt. Just remember, keep it away from sharp thorns. It's nylon, not Kevlar. Number 14, translucent tent repair tape. Number 14 is the hero you hope you never have to use, but you will be begging for it when disaster strikes. This is the translucent tent repair tape. You can pick up a roll, or sometimes a pack of 3, for around $4.22 USD. Now, you might be thinking, why not just bring duct tape? Here is the science. Duct tape is a fabric mesh with a rubber-based adhesive. It's great for fixing a bumper, but it is terrible for tents. Duct tape gets gummy in the heat, it's heavy, and most importantly, it doesn't flex well with lightweight nylon fabrics. When your rainfly is flapping in a 30 mile/hour wind, duct tape will peel right off. This repair tape from Temu is typically made from TPU, thermoplastic polyurethane, or a specialized ripstop blend with a pressure-sensitive acrylic adhesive. It is designed specifically for the synthetic materials used in outdoor gear, nylon, polyester, and vinyl. The translucent part is the key feature. When you rip your expensive $300 tent or burn a hole in your down puffy jacket with a stray ember, you don't want a giant silver ugly patch on it. This tape goes on almost clear. It blends into the fabric color, making the repair nearly invisible. But it's not just about looks, it's about the hydrostatic head that's the waterproof rating of your gear. This tape is fully waterproof and UV resistant. It seals the breach instantly. Users have reported patching an air mattress or a leaking seam in a rainstorm, and the tape held up for years, not just days. For $4, this is an essential component of your Oh No kit. It weighs less than a pack of gum. You throw it in the bottom of your backpack and forget about it. But the moment a tree branch tears your shelter at 2 a.m. in a downpour, this little roll of tape becomes the most valuable item you own: waterproof black gold foil playing cards. We have an entertainment upgrade that is practically indestructible. We are talking about the waterproof black gold foil playing cards. These usually trade for about $3.89 to $6.56 USD. Here's the problem with standard playing cards. They are made of paper. One spilled beer, one sudden rain shower, or just the general humidity of a damp forest, and your deck turns into a swollen, sticky brick. You can't shuffle them, and you certainly can't play with them. These Temu cards are made from 100% PVC plastic. They are completely immune to water. You could literally play a game of poker at the bottom of a creek if you wanted to. If they get covered in marshmallow goo or barbecue sauce, you don't throw them away, you wash them in the sink and towel them off. The black gold aesthetic is a huge selling point. They feature a black diamond textured embossing on the back and a shiny holographic gold foil on the face. They look incredibly opulent, like something you'd see in a high-stakes movie scene. However, I have to give you a practical warning, and this is why we do these deep dives. While they look cool, that black on gold color scheme can be tricky to read in low light. If you are playing by the dim light of a dying campfire, it might be hard to tell a heart from a diamond. You'll want a decent lantern nearby. But functionally, they are superior. The textured finish reduces the surface tension friction, meaning they shuffle like butter. They slide across a picnic table perfectly. For less than $5, you are buying the last deck of cards you will ever need for your camping kit. They simply do not wear out. Number 12, Canvas Spice Storage Roll with Jars. This item addresses the biggest tragedy of camping, bland food. Just because you are sleeping outside doesn't mean you have to eat like a peasant. This is the Canvas Spice Storage Roll. This set typically runs between $10.36 and $13.45 USD. For that price, you are getting a rugged, waxed canvas-style roll-up pouch and a set of food-safe jars, usually 9 of them. Let's talk about the aesthetic and the utility. If you buy a branded version of this from a boutique outdoor store, it's going to cost you $50. Why? Because of the logo. The material science here is simple. Canvas is canvas, and glass is glass. The Temu version gives you that rugged Bushcraft look, the olive green or khaki fabric that feels right at home next to a cast iron skillet. The utility is all about organization. Without this, you are either carrying full-size plastic shakers from the grocery store, which takes up huge space, or you are trying to put spices in Ziploc bags, which is a disaster waiting to happen. This kit gives you dedicated jars for salt, pepper, cumin, chili flakes, garlic powder, cinnamon, whatever your chef's heart desires. The roll features elastic retention bands that hold the jars securely so they don't clank together and break. It also usually has metal grommets on the corners. This is a pro feature. It allows you to hang the open roll on a tree branch or the side of your camp kitchen table. You have a vertical spice rack right at eye level while you cook. One quick tip from the reviews. The jars usually come empty and unlabeled. Bring a Sharpie or some masking tape to label the lids. Once they are in the roll, you can only see the tops, and you don't want to accidentally put cayenne pepper in your morning oatmeal instead of cinnamon. For $10, this instantly upgrades your camp cooking from survival calories to gourmet cuisine. Number 11, retractable telescoping stool. It is a polarizing piece of gear, but if you use it right, it's a mechanical marvel. It's the retractable telescoping stool. You will find these on Temu for anywhere between $8 and $13 USD, often advertised as heavy duty. This is not your grandfather's folding canvas chair. This is a cylinder of injection molded plastic that looks like a Frisbee or a Roomba when it's collapsed. But when you pull the ends apart and twist, it expands into a full height seat. The engineering secret here is the fish scale structure. The body of the stool is made of dozens of concentric rings and hundreds of locking tabs. When you twist it, these tabs lock into slots at your desired height. It allows the stool to be adjustable. You can set it low for stoking the fire or high for sitting at a table. Now, let's talk about the weight rating. The listings often claim 400 pounds. The material is usually a high-strength polyamide or polypropylene. In vertical compression, meaning if you sit perfectly still and straight, it is incredibly strong. It feels solid, like sitting on a stump. However, the reviews highlight the Temu reality check. These stools do not handle off-axis loading well. That means you cannot lean back on 2 legs, and you shouldn't rock back and forth. If you tilt too far, the locking tabs can slip, and the stool will telescope back down to the ground instantly. But for the portability, it's unbeatable. It has a shoulder strap, it weighs about 2 pounds, and it fits in a backpack water bottle pocket. It is the ultimate task chair. It's perfect for the person cooking over a low stove, for putting on your boots, or for a photographer waiting for the perfect shot. For $8, it is a brilliant piece of plastic engineering that solves the where do I sit problem without the bulk of a massive folding armchair. Number 10, Mini Heat Bag Sealer. This is one of the cheapest items on our list, often fluctuating between $2.17 and $5.51 USD. Here is the scenario. You open a family-sized bag of potato chips or marshmallows. You eat half. In a humid tent or a damp cooler, that food will be stale and chewy by the next morning. Or worse, the bag tips over and spills crumbs everywhere, inviting every ant in the forest into your sleeping bag. Chip clips are bulky and they pop off. This tool uses thermal resistance to actually remanufacture the seal. It runs on AA batteries. Inside, there is a heating element, usually a thin nichrome wire or a ceramic heating strip protected by a heat-resistant pad. You simply clamp the device over the open edge of the bag and slide it across. The heat melts the plastic layers just enough to fuse them back together, creating a factory-level airtight seal. Your chips stay crispy, your marshmallows stay fluffy, and your food stays safe from bugs. The design often includes a few hidden features. Most models have a magnetic back, so when you are at home, you can stick it to your fridge. Many also include a tiny retractable blade on the flip side. This is for opening bags cleanly so you don't rip them down the side and make them impossible to reseal later. Reviewers note there is a slight learning curve. If you move too slow, you melt right through the bag. If you move too fast, it doesn't seal. But once you get the rhythm down, it is oddly satisfying. For $2, it pays for itself the first time you save a bag of beef jerky from going bad. Number 9, Butane Torch Head Attachment. It is a tool that makes you feel like a wizard. Forget matches, forget struggling with a lighter in the wind. We are talking about the Butane Torch Head Attachment. This usually sells for around $9.31 USD. This isn't a lighter, it's a jet engine for your hand. This attachment is designed to clip onto those cheap, nozzle-style butane canisters, the kind you find in Asian grocery stores or camping shops for a couple of dollars. The mechanism uses a twist-lock collar to secure to the can. Once attached, you have a trigger-operated piezoelectric igniter. That means you don't need a spark or a match. You just pull the trigger and click, you have fire. But not just any fire. This produces a concentrated blue jet flame that can reach temperatures of 1,300 degrees Celsius, that's over 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit. It is windproof. You could stand in a gale force wind and this flame would not go out. The utility here is split between survival and culinary. On the survival side, it will light damp wood instantly. If you are trying to start a campfire with wet kindling, this torch brute forces the moisture out and gets the fire going. It's also great for thawing frozen locks on your truck or heating up a rusted bolt. On the culinary side, this turns camp cooking into a 5-star experience. You can use it to sous vide, sear a steak, melt cheese on a burger instantly, or blister peppers for a salsa. Safety is key here. Since it's a generic Temu item, you want to make sure you attach it correctly to the can to avoid leaks. But once it's on, it is a powerhouse. For under $10, it replaces the frustration of matches with the certainty of industrial heat. Number 8, Aluminum Alloy Tent Stake Hammer. It is a tool that separates the novices from the pros. Most people just use a rock to pound in their tent stakes, and most people end up with bent stakes and smashed fingers. Enter the Aluminum Alloy Tent Stake Hammer. This goes for about $9.82 to $13.56 USD. Now, you might ask, why do I need a hammer just for camping? Look at the design. This isn't a carpenter's hammer. It is a specialized tool optimized for ground anchors. The head is usually made of high-carbon steel or stainless steel, so it can take the impact of hitting rock-hard ground. But the body and handle are made of anodized aluminum alloy. This keeps the weight down to about 10 or 12 ounces. It feels substantial in the hand, but doesn't weigh down your pack. But the real value isn't the hammer face, it's the back. The rear of the head features a specialized hook and hole design. This is the extractor. If you have ever tried to pull a tent stake out of dry, baked clay soil, you know it is impossible. You pull on the little nylon cord and it snaps. You hurt your back. With this tool, you hook the extractor under the stake and use the hammerhead as leverage. It pops the stake out effortlessly. It saves your stakes from getting bent, and it saves your energy at the end of a long trip. Visually, this looks almost identical to the high-end MSR stake hammers that sell for $40 or $50. The Temu version might have a slightly less refined finish, but the physics are exactly the same. For $10, it is a luxury that becomes a necessity the moment you camp on hard ground. Number 7. The collapsible silicone coffee dripper. At number 7, we are fixing the morning ritual. If you are serious about caffeine, you know that cowboy coffee boiling grounds in a pot of water is sludge. It's nostalgic, but it tastes like mud. The solution for years has been the pour-over, but ceramic drippers are heavy and breakable, and rigid plastic ones take up too much space. Enter the collapsible silicone coffee dripper. You will find these on Temu for roughly $4.18 to $10.26 USD. This is an exact clone of high-end designs like the Kalita Wave or the V60, but it swaps the material for BPA-free, food-grade silicone. The engineering brilliance here is in the geometry. It features a series of concentric rings that allow the cone to collapse down into a flat disc, less than 1 inch thick. You can slide this into the laptop sleeve of your backpack or jam it into a mess kit, and it physically cannot break. But let's talk about the thermodynamics, because that is where this tool surprisingly outperforms ceramic. In coffee brewing, temperature stability is everything. When you pour boiling water into a heavy ceramic cone, the ceramic acts as a heat sink. It steals heat from the water instantly, dropping your brew temperature and leading to sour coffee. Silicone has a very low thermal mass. It doesn't steal the heat. This means that in a freezing cold campsite, your brew water stays hotter, extracting more flavor from the beans. The Temu reality check here involves the rigidity of the silicone. Some of the cheaper molds have walls that are too thin. When you pour hot water in, the cone can get soft and sag, potentially tipping over your mug. You want to look for the models that have a rigid plastic ring around the top rim. That hybrid design gives you the stability of plastic with the collapsibility of silicone. For $5 or $6, this is the ultimate ultralight luxury. It weighs nothing, costs nothing, but allows you to brew a cup of coffee that rivals a downtown cafe right on the side of a mountain. Number 6. The hard-shell shockproof egg holder. This addresses a very specific anxiety. We have all been there. Packing the cooler, you are trying to fit the ice, the beer, the steaks, and then the eggs. You treat that cardboard carton like it's made of nitroglycerin, because if it gets wet from melting ice, it disintegrates. If you put a heavy milk jug next to it, you have slime everywhere. The hard-shell shockproof egg holder is the cure for that anxiety. This is a micro investment, usually costing between $1.90 and $5.20 USD. It seems silly until you own one. This is an exoskeleton for your breakfast. These cases are typically molded from polypropylene PP or ABS plastic, the same stuff they make protective tool cases out of. They are rigid, crush-resistant, and waterproof. The interior engineering is what matters. Unlike a Tupperware container where eggs would just roll around and smash into each other, these holders feature molded conical recesses that cradle each egg individually. The better models on Temu even have a little flexible plastic spine or shock absorbers inside the lid that gently press down on the eggs to keep them from rattling during a bumpy car ride. There is one critical detail to watch out for in the reviews. Size matters. Most of these molds are designed for large eggs. If you buy those massive jumbo eggs from Costco, they might be too tall. When you snap the latch shut, you could crush the eggs yourself. Stick to standard large eggs, and this tool is flawless. Users love the transparency of the plastic. You can see exactly how many eggs you have left without opening the seal and letting the cold air out of your cooler. It's a simple, cheap piece of plastic that completely removes the broken egg variable from your trip. Number 5. The heavy-duty suction cup anchor. This is a hack tool that unlocks new capabilities for your vehicle. Usually, if you want to attach an awning or a tarp to your car, you need a roof rack. Roof racks are expensive, heavy, and permanent. What if you are in a rental car, or you just don't want to drill holes in your roof? You need the heavy-duty suction cup Anchor. These are sold in sets, often a 2-pack or 4-pack, for around $15.09 USD. This isn't a lick-and-stick suction cup like you use to hang a shower caddy. This is a lever-actuated vacuum anchor. The housing is made of high-impact ABS plastic, and the pad is a thick slab of PVC or rubber. When you flip the lever, it pulls the center of the cup upwards, creating a powerful vacuum cavity that seals against the metal or glass of your car. The utility is incredible. You can stick 2 of these to the roof of your SUV, clip a tarp to the integrated D-rings, and tie the other end of the tarp to some trees. Instantly, you have a rain shelter over your tailgate kitchen. You can stick them to the side windows to run a clothesline for drying wet swimsuits. You can even use them to anchor a privacy tent for an outdoor shower. Now, let's talk about the physics. The listing might claim it can hold 50 or 100 pounds. In terms of sheer force, that is sliding down the window, they are very strong. But in terms of pull-out, force pulling straight away from the car, they are weaker. Do not use these to secure a hammock that you are sleeping in. They are for tarps and gear, not human weight. The Temu tip here is surface prep. If your car is covered in dust or pollen, the vacuum won't hold. You have to wipe the spot clean with a wet rag before you attach it. But once it's on, it is rock solid. It turns any smooth surface into a structural anchor point for 15 bucks. Number 4. The holographic blade fly repellent fan. Number 4 is arguably the weirdest looking item on the list, but it solves the most annoying problem in outdoor dining. You have just grilled the perfect burgers. You sit down at the picnic table, and instantly you are swarmed by flies. You spend the whole meal waving your hands around like a maniac. Stop doing that. Get the holographic blade fly repellent fan. You can usually grab these for $5.93 to $11.87 USD, often in a multi-pack. This device looks like a plastic pyramid with a propeller on top, but it doesn't blow air. If you put your hand over it, you won't feel a breeze. The motor is low torque and silent. The magic is in the blades. They are stamped with a holographic reflective pattern, shiny silver dots that catch the light. Here is the biological warfare aspect. Flies have compound eyes. They are incredibly sensitive to light refraction and rapid movement. To a fly, these spinning, flashing holographic blades look like a terrifying, disorienting strobe light. They perceive it as a threat or a predator, and they instinctively refuse to fly under it. The engineering is human-safe. The blades are soft, flimsy plastic. If you reach across the table for the ketchup and your hand hits the fan, it doesn't hurt. It features a soft stop mechanism where the blades stop instantly upon contact and then spin back up once you move away. This is a game changer for keeping yellow jackets and houseflies off your food. Users recommend buying 2 or 3 for a large picnic table to create a perimeter of defense. It runs on AA batteries or a USB cable connected to a power bank. It creates a force field around your salsa, allowing you to actually relax and eat. Number 3, the portable electric bidet sprayer. We are talking about hygiene. The leave no trace principles tell us we need to pack out our trash. Nobody, and I mean nobody, enjoys packing out used toilet paper. It is gross. The solution? Wash, don't wipe. This is the portable electric bidet sprayer. This unit typically runs between $12 and $15 USD. If you are used to those manual squeeze bottles, forget them. They run out of water in 3 seconds and the pressure is weak. This device is a miniaturized pressure washer for your backside. It features a small cylindrical pump unit that houses a rechargeable lithium-ion battery. You drop the intake hose into a bucket of water, a creek, or a collapsible sink, and you turn it on. The motor generates a continuous steady stream of water. Most models on Temu feature 2-speed control, a gentle mode for sensitive areas, and a high-pressure jet mode for serious cleaning. It's essentially a bum gun like you'd find in Southeast Asia, but fully portable. The application goes beyond just the bathroom. This is a backcountry faucet. You can use the high-pressure spray to blast mud off your hiking boots before you get in the tent. You can use it to rinse soap off your dishes without wasting gallons of water. It is incredible for washing a dog's muddy paws. Reviewers note that the battery life is surprisingly good, often lasting for several days of use on a single charge via USB-C. The only failure point to watch is the charging port cover. You have to make sure that little rubber flap is closed tight before you get it wet. For $12, this tool improves your hygiene morale significantly. You feel cleaner, you use less paper, and you create less waste. It is the definition of a modern camping upgrade. Number 2, the Birdcage Mosquito Coil Holder. Number 2 is a masterclass in safety and design. We all use mosquito coils, those green spirals that smell like incense. They are cheap and effective, but they are also dangerous. Usually, you balance them on a flimsy little metal stand. If they tip over in dry grass, you start a forest fire. If you put them on a plastic table, they melt it, and the ash goes everywhere. The Birdcage Mosquito Coil Holder solves all of this. This beautiful little piece of metalwork costs between $2.21 and $3.54 USD. The design is exactly what it sounds like, a retro-style birdcage made of iron or galvanized steel. But it's not just for looks. The engineering here is about airflow and containment. You hang the coil on an internal hook in the center of the cage. The mesh lattice allows oxygen to flow freely, keeping the coil smoldering hot, which is essential for releasing the repellent. However, the mesh is tight enough to prevent the hot ember from touching anything outside. If your dog's tail wags into it, or your sleeping bag brushes against it, they hit the cold metal cage, not the burning coal. This safety factor is huge for dispersed camping in dry areas. The bottom of the cage acts as an ash reservoir. It catches all the dust so your table stays clean, and because it has a ring on top, you can hang it. You can suspend it from a tree branch or the guy line of your tent, which helps disperse the smoke 360 degrees around your camp rather than just having it sit on the ground. It turns a trashy-looking mosquito coil into a piece of glamping decor. It looks like a vintage lantern. For $3, it is a safety device that doubles as an aesthetic upgrade. Number 1, the portable 5 kilowatts diesel air heater all-in-one unit. Here it is. Number 1, the undisputed king of Temu camping finds. This item represents the biggest disruption in the outdoor market today. For decades, if you wanted safe, dry heat in a tent or van, you had to buy a German-made Webasto heater for $1,200. Temu has democratized winter. This is the portable 5 kilowatts diesel air heater. You can buy this entire thermal engine for $117.14 USD. Let me explain why this is a big deal. This isn't a propane heater like a Mr. Buddy. Propane heaters release moisture, tons of it. If you run a propane heater in a tent, you wake up soaking wet from condensation. Diesel heaters are externally vented. They have a combustion chamber where the fuel burns. A fan blows fresh air over the outside of that hot chamber. The exhaust gas goes out a pipe, and the hot air comes into your tent. It is 100% dry, safe, carbon monoxide-free heat. The all-in-one form factor means the fuel tank, the pump, the electronics, and the heater are all bolted inside a metal suitcase-sized chassis. You don't need to install it in a van, you can carry it like a generator. You set it outside your tent, duct the heat in, and power it with a 12 volts battery or a portable power station like a Jackery. The engineering is surprisingly robust. These are clones of the Eberspecher designs. They feature an aluminum combustion chamber and a digital control board. The one on Temu even comes with Bluetooth app control. You can be snug in your sleeping bag when it's 20 degrees below zero outside, pick up your phone, and crank the heat up without unzipping your bag. Now, the Temu reality. These units require some tinkering. The exhaust pipe gets dangerously hot. You need to manage that carefully so you don't melt your tent. The fuel pump makes a ticking sound that can be annoying if you are a light sleeper, and the manual is usually written in broken English, so you'll want to watch a YouTube tutorial for the initial setup. But look at the math! For roughly $117, you get a system that turns a freezing winter survival situation into a t-shirt weather living room. It opens up the 4th season of camping to people who can't afford a $100,000 Sprinter van. It is complex, it is industrial, and it is hands down the best value for money tool on this entire platform. So there you have it, the hierarchy of budget utility. From $2 egg holders to $100 thermal engines, the landscape of gear is changing. Remember, the Temu tax isn't money, it's quality control. Check your gear before you head out, treat the electronics with care, and you might just find that the best kit in your pack was the cheapest thing you bought. Stay safe, stay warm, and we will see you in the next one.